Booktube, it's Louise, the big head bookworm. Lovely to see you. Hope you're well. Hope you're having a good day, wherever it is you are and whatever it is you're doing. Hello, hello. Welcome back to Friday Reads. It's Friday Reads. It's Friday Reads. I'm here on a Friday. It's Friday Reads. Hello, hello. I'm here with Gary. And Gary is we discussed the heat, and even though it is cooler today, it is definitely cooler today, it is still quite warm. So Gary has got a fan. So hopefully that should keep Gary going and he shouldn't overheat and get too flustered and should be okay. I'm here with my fan, and I was really pleased last week when I actually held up the fan, although it's not the strongest thing I've ever met in my life. You couldn't hear it on my microphone. So obviously that is working. And so I'm hoping you're not going to hear the occasional crashes and noises that are coming from next door, the room next door, because the teenager has a chum over, and I should imagine they're playing computer games, because every so often I hear a hooray or a hoo or crashing, because even though you're a teenager, you still crash out of it. So yeah. So if you do hear anything, that's what it is. I don't think you will, though, because I think the fabulous little mic is actually doing its bit. So there we go. So I hope you've had a good week. I have had a mixed week. So there are several reasons why I'm recording this a bit later, and it will be going up a bit later. So I'm currently off work at the moment because I've got a joint issue, and the joint issue is causing all sorts of issues. Joint issue is causing issues, but also I'm on a lot of medication for the joint issue, and with medication comes side effects, and some of the side effects have made themselves quite known this week, and we're going to draw a veil over what they were. I don't feel I need to share any more with you, and you will be grateful for that. Let's just leave that there. So yeah, not felt 100% this week, and so yeah, slightly. So there has been ups and downs this week. The other reason that I was a bit later was because I was hoping, I'd ordered a book and it only came about half an hour ago. So I couldn't, and I wanted to show you it. So I haven't been, because of this week's ups and downs, nature of this week, I haven't actually read that much. Again, I've been reaching for those comfort reads, and I've not even kind of started at the beginning of books. I've just been kind of picking them up and reading bits and bobs. And I've done a lot of listening to podcasts. The two podcasts I've mainly listened to are The Consult, which is by real life FBI profilers, and the BSU, Behavioural Science Unit, I think. And they're just so good. They're so good. And they do kind of 2, 3, 4 episodes. Actually, they've just concluded a 6-part series or set of podcasts. And they go so in depth about kind of behavioural analysis and so it's all true crime. I like the way it's done, and I like the fact that they are experts talking about something that they are expert in. I like trusting that what I'm listening to is by somebody that has done it, and I know what they're talking about. So I've been listening to that a lot, and I've actually gone back and listened to full, kind of not just full episodes, but the kind of the full series. So when they've covered a crime, they maybe over 6, as I say, this last one was over 6 episodes, which is 6 weeks. So normally I'd listen to one a week, but I've actually listened to them all in one go, and that's been absolutely lovely. I've really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed kind of sinking into it. The other podcast that I've listened to is exactly the same kind of thing. It's true crime, but it's by people who are experts because they've done the job. So they're experts in their experting, and that's the prosecutors. I don't always listen to them. They quite often cover cases I'm not interested in. However, they have covered some that I am interested in, and they again do one-offs. So a one-off episode, but they also will do a series, and they'll do it over so many weeks. And I've been listening to those as well. So I've kind of gone back, listened to ones I've listened to again. And, but I suppose kind of listened, I suppose. I don't binge watch dramas or series or that kind of thing. I really can't do that. I find I get very bored and agitated, and it's just not my cup of tea. It's not something I enjoy doing. I know a lot of people find that really enjoyable and kind of sink into it. However, I can binge read a book, a kind of series, or I can binge listen to a podcast. So I think it's something about the sitting watching, I think it's that I struggle with, because if I'm reading, I will read it over a couple of days, but it's in different places, and I'm not drawn to, I don't have to stay in the same place. I think that's what it is. And it's like listening. I listen to when I'm in here doing stuff. I listen to when I'm, like knitting or crocheting. I put my headphones on and listen, or I listen in the bath, and I listen in lots of different places. So I think in some ways I can't binge watch because of the kind of stationary nature of it. I struggle with that. I also think no, with reading, it's just one activity, isn't it? I'm just sat there reading. Whereas if I'm listening to things, I tend to be doing it whilst doing something else. So yeah. Anyway, so don't binge watch, but I do binge listen, and I just kind of sink into them. That's how I feel. I feel like I sink into a podcast series, or I sink into a book series and give myself over to it. So yeah, anyway, got off the topic there. So those are the two podcasts that I've been listening to. As I say, reading wise, haven't really done anything. I've bought 2 books this week, and the first book I've got here, which is a colouring book, because I do at the moment, because I'm not actually working at the moment because of my joint, and I'm going to have to shift because I'm uncomfortable. There we go. Yeah, I'm uncomfortable all the time, but sometimes it gets that little bit too kind of acute, and I have to move, and it just caught me then. Is a colouring book, and I've been doing that again because I've been listening to stuff, and it's something to do. And I would love to get better at drawing. It's one of those skills that I would really love to get better at, and I enjoy the kind of act of colouring and that. I do. I find it very painful. And so I bought this book, which I saw on a YouTube, what's she called? Questing and Nesting, or Nesting and Questing. Either way, I'll leave her details down below. So she does colouring and she does gaming, and I haven't actually watched that many. She did a big haul, and she talked about this book, which is Lovely Worlds by Gabi Wolf, and this is Colouring Book Volume 1, and it's very up my alley. To kind of show you one or two of the pictures. I do like intricate drawing and kind of fine detailed colouring. I also like quite childish, and I quite like repetition. So I quite like something like that, where it's a repetition of motifs. I quite like motif drawing. There's a nice one of kind of doors and that kind of stuff. That's the kind of, I don't know, I saw it, loads of toadstools. Love a toadstool, absolutely love a toadstool. So I just saw it, and I thought, that is completely my kind of colouring and drawing, and I'm actually going to see if I can trace some of them and use them and then kind of draw them in my own books and that kind of stuff. I'm not that keen on kind of creatures with eyes and that kind of tweeness. I'm not kind of into that. It's more, so that page does nothing for me, but a nice house does. Well, there we go. So I am nowhere near at that kind of level of colouring in. And it's all about mindfulness and relaxation and being gentle on yourself and not putting pressure on yourself to be good at it. That's where I go. So with my crafting, so with my knitting or my crochet or my cross stitch, I am pretty much, I like to do it correctly. I like to do it, properly. I will rip back or frog or pull out anything that is incorrect and redo it. And I have no issues about doing that. And perhaps that's because I've been doing it for years and I've got a level of expertise, a level of proficiency. So I want to do well. With colouring and that kind of artistic endeavours, those kind of artistic endeavours, I was so basic. I have zero skillage. So I don't really care. And I think that's kind of it. I kind of feel free to make as many errors and be as childish as possible and just enjoy doing it. So it's a relaxation thing for me, which at this moment I'm very grateful for. So that's really good. The other book that I've got, which is what I was waiting for, is partly because I have been watching an awful lot of a certain YouTube and I'm wearing the t-shirt of the YouTube channel. So I am a proud, I don't know if that's going to come around, I'm a proud law nerd. So, yeah, come back to me while I'm looking at you. Yeah, still recording. So I watch Emily D. Baker, and she is a law commentary YouTube channel. So Emily D. Baker was a practicing prosecutor, and she, it's that idea of somebody with expertise, somebody with skill, somebody with the knowledge, imparting their knowledge to me and their expertise on something that I know nothing about, that I know nothing about the American law system. And I can then enjoy watching kind of court proceedings with her commentary. And she does it in a very entertaining as well as incredibly informative way. And the law nerds are the people that follow her. She's got like nearly 900,000 subscribers to her channel. It's a very, very active community that surrounds it. I'm not a member or anything like that. I haven't quite gone down that road. Am I saying that will never happen? No, but am I at the moment? That's a kind of a step too far for me at the moment. But I got for my birthday, I got this Law Nerd t-shirt, which is my favourite t-shirt at the moment because, it's really comfortable and it fits really well. It's in black. I like black. And I quite happily go around saying I'm a law nerd, especially in this area because I don't think anybody else watches it. Although I do every so often when she's reading out chats from her kind of the commentary. So she has live chat running all the time. Not that I've ever done that, but obviously somebody from this area has, because they've said so and so from Cambridge. And I thought, there's a law nerd. And I kind of wonder whether I'm going to be wearing this out sometime and somebody's going to come up to me and go, you're a law nerd. And that would be great. Wouldn't that be cool? That would be really weird, but also really cool. So yes, so it's a very, very popular channel. The husband enjoys watching it when I'm watching it downstairs. So when I watch it on the television, sometimes he'll sit and watch it with me because he's like, the way she talks about it, and she does explain things so well. I love a good explainer. I'm not particularly a good explainer. She's just such a good explainer. Love it. So this leads on to the book that I got. So I was thinking about the fact that I do understand an awful lot about British law, Not that I've ever studied it, but you just generally pick it up, don't you? You kind of understand about it. We do have a lawyer in the family. My brother is a lawyer. So, so I hear things from his point of view. So I have that. And I just thought, I could do with, I fancy getting a book that will teach me more about a good kind of first kind of entry level book about law. So I've got a DK Big Ideas book called The Law Book. So that's what I thought I would get. I really like Dorling Kindersley, DK, for their, I like their graphics and the way that they break subjects down. So I like their travel guides. I also like their series called The Big Book. It's a big book, big ideas, simply explained. So the Big Ideas series, and there are lots of them. It looks like there's kind of at least kind of 35, 40 different ones. We have got three. We've got the crime book, we've got the politics book, and the psychology book. So I bought the politics book first because the teenager was kind of getting into the idea of politics. That kind of, we were having a lot of our kind of, not our first political discussions, but kind of political discussions, and they wanted to know bits and bobs about stuff. So I bought it so that they could read it, but it also would be a good reference book for us to have. And the teenager really enjoyed it. And I think they actually sat and read it cover to cover. It was in one of their kind of like, really want to learn this phase. So it worked well for that, and it explained things at a level that they could kind of access it. I bought the psychology book and the crime book because they were on offer. The psychology book because I like psychological ideas, as does the teenager. The teenager is now studying psychology, and that was the other reason, because they were considering studying psychology. So it was a way of them kind of, they could have a look at it if they wanted. I don't think they ever did. I think it's just me that's read bits and bobs of it. The crime book, naturally, I like true crime, so I got that. That's been the least successful because it's got a lot of information, about organised crime, like mafias, street crime, or kind of gang violence, or that kind of stuff. And that is just not something I'm interested in. So there's a lot of the crime book I'm not interested in. So I've read bits and bobs of it. And then the bits and bobs that I am interested in is in quite a superficial level, naturally. And it's not telling me anything I don't know. So out of the three of them, the one that I thought I would get the most out of is the one that I've got the least out of it. However, I think they're quite good for you if you come from a point of not absolute ignorance, but you're fairly ignorant. There isn't, you're not an expert and you're dabbling in the subject. I think they're pretty good. I think if you've got any level of kind of like proper knowledge, you'll probably find them a bit simplistic. However, I've got this. I like the graphics. It's kind of loosely done in chronological. Well, it's done in chronological. It's set out in chronological words. The format is in chronological time. Oh, I can't remember the words. The words are not wording today, but it is. I think it said somewhere it's like 90 laws. So yeah, it's now I think I'm having a light on. Is that saying that this is are you struggling? Oh, okay. Gary, are you giving me the wind up? Gary's saying that I should think about finishing soon. Okay, thanks for that, Gary. He's been very helpful. Yeah, okay. So I like the way it's broken down. I like the graphics. It gives you bits and bobs. Yeah, the law book. So that's what I've got. So those are my 2 books that I've got this week. I've got a colouring book, which I shall dabble in, and then I'm going to have a sit down and a read of this. Some of it, of course, I will already know, but there will be bits and bobs I don't know. And some of the laws I think I will think I know, and actually I don't. So yeah. Pleased with that. I'm pleased with that. Yeah, look forward to reading that. So there we go, friends. That's it for me. I haven't done any audiobook listening because I've been listening to podcasts. As I say, reading. I have started 1 or 2 books on the old Kindle that I've got on Kindle Unlimited. However, I think I'm yearning for a physical book. So maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll look in the next couple of days. Now this medication side effect, this particular medication side effect seems to be lessening. Maybe I think I need an actual book, a physical book. Yeah, that's what I need. So yeah, there we go. Booktube. Friday Reads. I hope you've had a good week. I hope you have a good week coming forward. And yeah, this has been lovely, Booktube. Let's do this again. Bye.